All right. Hi, everyone. JJ and I are here, and we're going to show you how to do the Dragon Genetics lab. It's more, I think, to me, it's more like a game, but but it's kind of fun. I will tell you, I know that you've had to learn a lot of this online, but the chromosomes, the number of chromosomes that we have is 46. So every one of our cells has 46 chromosomes. But if you're female, your egg cells, or if you're male, it's your sperm, they will have 23. So in other words, the mother and father donate half of their chromosomes to the child. And when the sperm fertilizes the egg, another term I want to make sure everybody's aware of is zygote. When the fertilized egg is called a zygote, that's the very first cell that turns into the organism. So the zygote will have the 46 chromosomes in humans. Well, dragons, this is made up obviously, but dragons are different from humans. Dragons only have 3 chromosomes, so that makes it pretty easy. And JJ is going to be the dad, and I'm going to be the mom. But this is how, and I also kind of set this up. If you didn't have popsicle sticks, just to show you, you can do this with anything. I just cut strips of paper, literally. In fact, I think this was an envelope. So on this is a chromosome. It is, and this chromosome is called a sex chromosome, and it's colored red for mom. And then this one is called a sex chromosome also. And you can see that the mom and the dad both have an X sex chromosome, but then when I flip it over, their matching chromosome, I don't know that you can see it. Oh yeah, you can. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. The father has a Y, and the mother has another X chromosome. And then you also notice here that the mother has a big H allele, which just means it's just a version of a gene. And then I think I've got this flipped over. And
Yeah, I wonder.
This is going to show backwards, and I can't really help that. But anyway, this is a little H. So the mom has a big H and a little H. So that's what she got from her parents. So what you have to do is you have to find. Oh, I see. Okay, I want the.
Here, go back one.
Yeah, or just hit that.
Yeah.
What you have to do, you do not have to print any of this out. And that's another thing I wanted to show you. You can just, right now I'm clicking on the Dragon Genetics document, and you don't even have to have a partner to do this. I mean, JJ's here helping me, but you can do this on your own. You could just be both parents. But okay, so what it says right here is the first thing that you're supposed to do is it says, suppose that each dragon parent has the pair of homologous chromosomes shown. Homologous chromosomes are just matching, like chromosome pair number 1 is has one chromosome from the dad and one from the mom. So everyone in all of our cells except egg and sperm, we have pairs of chromosomes. It's not 46, it's actually 23 pairs, and every pair is called homologous. Homologous because they have genes for the same traits, but not necessarily the same version. Remember, the mother had a big H and a little h. So not necessarily the same version. But the first part is just asking you to to look at the gene for skin color. Well, it's not really for skin color, it's for whether or not you have any skin color. Because if you have 2 big A alleles, then you have skin color if you're a dragon. If you have a big A and a little a allele, you have skin color. But if you have 2 little a's, we call that the recessive condition because the little a's are recessive alleles, you have to have 2 of them. If you have 2 little a's, then you are albino. So it doesn't matter what genes you get for skin color, you are not going to have any color. So when you guys are drawing your baby dragons, which you're going to do at the end, you don't color the ones that have two little A's. So the first example asks us to fill in a box, a Punnett square is what it's called, with the mother. I'm going to write this. You're going to see it backwards, but the mother's alleles are big A and little a, and those go on the outside. They go right there and right there. They go on the outside of the box at the top. And then the fathers, you can see, are drawn like sperm, and they go there. So the father has a big A and a little a. Now, the first thing, if you haven't done a Punnett square before, you're just going to find which letters come together in the square. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. This is going to be the genotypes of the zygotes. I filled in those. Those are the zygotes, which that's not necessarily the children they're going to have. It's the possible children they could have. They could have a child with two big A's. They have a 1/4 chance of that. They've got 2 out of 4 chances, which is a half or 50% chance of having a child with big A, little a. And then if you look here, they've got a 1/4 chance of having a child that's albino. So that's the first thing you do is, I know I've done it for you, but you have to do it, and you can do it on paper just like this. You don't have to print out the document. You can just write your answers on paper. And then the next thing we have is we have a decoding of the genes. And I think this is on page 3 or 4, but it says Dragon Genome Decoding of the Genes. So let's just look at the sex chromosomes again. We know the dad just has an X and a Y. And the mom has an X and an X, and then also a big H and a little h. And what I'm seeing here is that the big H allele is dominant, and it means that she has a horn on her nose. And there's also a place at the bottom of the document that shows you what that looks like. So when you draw it, you have something to copy. But she has a horn on her nose. The only way she would be hornless is to have 2 little H's. But we know she's got at least one big H, even though she has a little h. She's a carrier of the hornless trait, but she's got at least one big H. So she has a horn on her nose. The father will never have a horn on his nose because this is carried only on the X chromosome. So this is an example of what's called sex linked. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fill in just the part of the chart that says green autosomes. Okay, so here's her green one, and here's my green one. And what we're going to do is move these out of the way. And I have been working on this a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how to flip it so that it flips a little bit like a coin, because this is a process. It's random. When the egg and the sperm are formed, it's random which chromosomes they're going to get from the mom and the dad. So what we're going to do is we're going to just, just going to, first her split's better than mine, but whatever side, whatever side they land on, that's better. Okay, so now we've got, okay, I'm the mom, so I've got a big W, and I'm going to put that down in my chart. And the dad has a little w. In fact, let's switch them over so they're in the same order. And then both the mom and the dad have little L's. Both the mom and the dad have big A's, and both the mom and the dad have big C's. So let's see what this means. That means big W is dominant. So, yeah. I was just trying to see.
Only the one difference, I think.
Okay, before I go over that, it says next, alleles in the egg and the sperm. Okay, so the alleles in the egg and the sperm for the W's can be a big W or a little w. You have 2 possibilities, big W or little w. The only alleles for the rest of the traits is little l, big A, and big C, because they're the only possibilities. Okay, so the baby traits, so what we're doing is we're putting together the W's, the big W from the mom and the little W from the dad. The baby trait is going to be that the baby has wings, because that's the dominant trait. Only two little W's would be no wings. But if we take a look at the mom's chromosome, if you look at the top, the mom is wingless. She has two little W's. But because the dad had a big W to give, the child ended up with, the dragon ended up with wings. So for the baby trait of L, the little L is because this baby dragon got two little L's, which is a recessive trait. That means the baby dragon has a short neck and tail. And two big A's means that the dragon has normal skin pigment, won't be albino. And then two big C's is going to mean that the color of the skin is dark green. The recessive of that, so this is real important about skin color, and it's going to ask you about this in the lab. It's called epistasis. Epistasis, okay? Epistasis, epistasis. What this is when more than one gene controls a trait, and one of them can control whether that trait is expressed. So we've got the A alleles, and if you get two little A's, it does not matter what C's you get. It doesn't matter if you get dark green or if you get light green, you're going to be albino if you get two little A's. So the C's are like canceled out if you get two little A's. But if you get at least one big A, then your C's matter. So if you get one big C or two big C's, you're going to be dark green. And if you get two little C's, you're going to be light green. So this is basically how it works. You just do the rest of the lab this way. And by the way, one of the things that sort of tripped me up, so I want to make sure you understand, this is the mom. This is the mom's green chromosome. So, and by the way, another terminology, the green and the yellow chromosomes are autosomes. Humans have 22 pairs of autosomes, but the blue and the red are the sex chromosomes. So there's one pair of sex chromosomes and 22 pairs of autosomes. So anyway, when you write down the letters on each side of your stick, your popsicle stick or your strip of paper or whatever, you get to pick. So you can put a big W and a big W like I did here, or you can pick a big W and a little W on the back. You can pick any, as long as you put a W, an L, an A, and a C on both sides of this stick, you can pick whether it's a big letter or a little letter. So whether it's a dominant or recessive trait, you have to pick the traits of the parent. Okay. Another thing you have to fill in on here are the mom's traits and the dad's traits. So let me just tell you, the mom has two big W's. So the mom definitely has wings. Is that right? Or the mom have two little W's? The mom had the big W's. So the mom has wings. The dad has two little W's. So the dad is wingless, has no wings, because that's part of what you're asked to fill in. And then for the L's, the mom has a big L and a little L, which means that she has a long neck and tail. And the dad has a big L and a little L, which means he has a long neck and tail. And then for the A's, the mom has a big A and a little a, and the dad has a big A and a little a. So that means they're both carriers for the albino trait, but they are not albino because they have the big A. So both of them have skin color. And then the C tells you what the skin color is. Okay, for the mom has a big C and a little c, and that means she's going to be dark green. And then the dad has a big C also and a little c, down here. So he is going to be dark green as well. All right, so I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.